Shen Saratoga tonight, my man. Looking forward to that game. Final game of the regular season. This is it. It goes by in a shot. The playoffs are right around the corner. And we said all year long from the beginning. I think we had Steven on when we were at the East Greenbush location at their grand opening, and we were getting ready to roll. And with this high school season, we're talking about how wide open the Suburban would be. And I would say, for the most part, it has been. I would say down the stretch, Colony had maybe just a notch better than the rest of the field, and Colony can win the whole thing for the first time in a whole bunch of years, going back to the Lucius Jordan days at Colony, if Saratoga beats Shen tonight. And that game is at Saratoga. There's a girls game before it, and the Saratoga girls under Robin Chudy are really good. And they have a really good player in Cairns, Dolly Cairns. She's a sophomore guard. She is phenomenal. She started as a freshman. I mean, she is really good, and Saratoga has a nice team. Point is, they're going to pack the gym tonight, going to be sold out. Should be a lot of fun. We'll see who wins this game. Steve Dagostino joins us, he is the Dags basketball, and he joins us in studio this morning. Good morning, Dags.
Thanks for having me, guys.
How we doing?
Absolutely.
Good. How are you?
Are you taking your wife to the game tonight?
I got 3 girls in my house, so we had a little Valentine's Day breakfast, and
oh, that's nice.
I won't be at any games tonight, not because I'm going on a date, but because I'll be training 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders at my gym in Schenectady.
Oh, so you want my 4th grade team?
They need it now. What's up with that? Losing.
I know. That's on me. I told him that's on me. It's coach's fault. Didn't have you in the right offensive sets. I blamed it all on me last night.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's a burden you bear as the coach.
It. Yeah. 4th grade coach. It's on you. What's your thoughts on Shen Saratoga tonight? And this is a Shen team now without Luke Hicks, who I think most of you follow the high school scene. No, he quit the Shen team. He was their best player. He was our 3rd pick on the News Channel 13 All-Star team, which, by the way, he is still on our team. We did not kick him off that team. We left him up there. He didn't get in trouble with the law or any of that stuff. He just decided in his own mind that he had enough of playing basketball at Shen, and he quit the team. So they are a little shorthanded, I think, without Luke Hicks. What do you think of the matchup tonight?
I love it. I was at the first game when they did similar things. They played the girls' game before, and then the boys game after at Shen earlier in the year, and it was an awesome atmosphere. Sold out, packed house. Both those schools, kind of got a little thing for each other. They get after it when they play. Tonight's going to be awesome. We train. Zach's been with me in the gym with Shen. We've been training them for years. And with or without Luke Hicks, you guys were talking about the UConn women and the culture that they built. Coach Zizekas at Shen has built such a culture at Shen where you saw the first game Luke didn't play. Their other starting guard, Chris Hulbert, had 33 points.
Yeah, their names popping up I never even heard of.
Yeah, and you know what? But this team, so I've been training the Shen's 8th grade team this was the first class, the senior class, when we started training 5 years ago. They didn't lose a game in CDYBL. As freshmen, they were undefeated. JV, I'm pretty sure they were undefeated, maybe one loss. These are guys who are used to winning, whether they have their best player, whether they don't have their best player. So I don't think, as much as you lose like a guy who can go get you a basket when you need it, they don't have that, but they have other guys who are used to winning a ton of games. When they were younger, they're going to go out and they're going to expect to win every single game. On the other side, Saratoga, our trainer Shea Bermersky has been in the gym with those guys. At Spa Catholic, they come over and train at Spa Catholic. Adam Anderson,
he's really good.
Adam's awesome, great kid. AJ Lawton, who's a shooting guard, Matt Larkin, who comes off the bench as a point guard. Those guys are tough kids, and what Coach Usher has done with them and instilled kind of, that winning mentality up at Saratoga. This is a huge game for them. They're riding a 5-game win streak. For them to get this going into sectionals, and I think they're locked into the 4th place in sectionals no matter what, would be big time.
Yeah, and as much as we talk, guys, about, if Saratoga wins tonight, Colony wins the regular season for the first time in a long while. I can't remember the last time that a Saratoga team has been this good, right? It's been a while since they've been playing this well. And I just spoke to Adam Anderson yesterday, kind of give it away a little bit as we've got our next All-Star selection coming up on Wednesday night on News Channel 13. But he is a very nice young man and having a really good season and a senior, and he's got to make some decisions as to where he's going to end up going to college. I know that Brian Bury over at St. Rose really likes Adam Anderson, but there's also prep school. But I think he's our best player.
Yeah, no, he definitely is, and he came out really strong during the beginning of the season. Had a bunch of 30-point games. You know, teams are trying different defenses on him, and he's still able to put up points, but also be a leader. He's not a guy that's going to quit, who's going to pout, who's going to yell at his teammates. He's a really good leader for them.
Is he a scholarship kid?
I think he's borderline. I mean, I could see him. I could see him being at the Division II level. You know, I could also see him going to a really good Division III and being a star. You know, being a kid who develops in the next 4 years because he works so hard. And you know, I know guys who had great Division III careers who are making $100,000 playing overseas. I don't get caught up in Division I, Division II, Division III. I get caught up kind of in the fit and where you can succeed. And I could see him, you know, at the right fit at Division II. Yes. At the right fit at Division III. Absolutely.
How about prep school? I mean, we talked about that yesterday. He's seriously considering prep school. Thinking I go to prep school, good competition, get a year under my belt, and maybe I get some mid-major Division I's taking a peek at me.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened certainly with some people. What prep school does is it kind of shines a light on everything. You have 30 games against Division I guys, Division II guys, Division III guys. Can you compete? Where do you fit in? So, you know, I don't know as far as like a development standpoint, you know, how much better he's going to get. Obviously, he's going to get better if he goes to prep school, but more so it's, hey, the spotlight's on you against top competition, top teams, top coaches in the country. How do you compete?
Let me ask you about a prep school kid from this area, from Guilderland High School, who's committed to the University of North Carolina next year, Andrew Playtech. For a kid like that, prep school, is that go a long way for a kid like that, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, he would have ended up, I think, if he stayed here, being like a mid-major guy. The one thing that Playtech figured out, and so when we evaluate our players, especially the guys who are going to be scholarship players, usually they have to figure out one or two things to take them to the highest level that they can compete at. And for Playtech, it was, how do you stop taking bad shots? Right? Because at Guilderland, he could shoot whatever shot he wanted. When he played on the EYBL circuit, AAU, you're up and down the court. He could get his shot off. He could shoot whatever he wanted. When he first came to us, he was shooting like 25% from three in Nike EYBL, which is the best circuit. They have top 75 of the top 100 players in the country. And, you know, I asked him one question. And again, he figured this out. This has nothing to do with me, but it's just part of, you know, Zach, we're in the gym, we're evaluating guys. Andrew, if you stop shooting all the bad shots that you've taken, you're shooting 25% from three now, without making another shot, what do you shoot from three? He's like, probably 45%. Okay. So you're telling me you can shoot 45% without making another three? Just stop taking bad shots. And credit to him, he went to prep school. John Carroll, who's the head coach at Northfield Mount Herman, hammered that to him. I know that was a point when he had gotten there that they wanted him to improve on. And Playtech himself figured it out, and now he's going to do awesome at Carolina. Yeah. I know everybody's skeptical. He's going to go in, spread the defense, knock down shots. He's going to do awesome.
And to further your point, if he doesn't go to prep school, he doesn't go to North Carolina.
Right.
There's no.
Right.
And he's going. He's mid-major program.
For some kids, it can take you there.
Right.
And for others, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Exactly. You delay and you end up at the same spot that you would be at anyway.
And I told Adam, I said, St. Rose isn't a bad choice. And we talked about you. I said, you were a situation where you could have went. I mean, you could have played Division I basketball.
So I had, coming out of high school, I had St. Rose offered me, Lemoyne offered me. After St. Rose offered me, I went on a visit to Union. That was another one, and then Northfield Mount Herman, John Carroll. Yeah. This is how I know him. That's the prep school that I was going to go to. I just didn't want to spend another year, you know, before going to college.
It turned out to be an All-American basketball player at St. Rose under Brian Bury. So I told Anderson, that's not a bad fit. They have a good program. You're local. Parents come watch you play. It's all good.
And if they pay for your education.
Yeah, they do that too. They do that too. The other team that as soon as, if I don't mention them, they will send me a text immediately, because I have people listening here that love Bethlehem. Yep. And I watched them play Colony on Friday night. You know what? That was a 62-59 game. Bethlehem beat Colony early in the year, 62-59. They turned the tables. Colony did, and won by the identical 62-59 score. That is a pretty darn even matchup right there.
Yeah, I really like Bethlehem, and it looks like Bethlehem's locked into the 3 seed.
They're tough.
They're tough. They compete. Hayden Thompson is a really good player. He had an off night, I think, against Colony, but Mike Ortali, the sophomore, he passes the ball, he knocks down shots. And the Riker kid is really good. I heard he's like a 4.0 student. He's awesome. He's tough. You know, they're just a smart team. But let me pose this question to both of you guys. I'm going to go down a list right now. Tell me, Zach, you're coaching whatever team here in the in Class AA. Tell me which one of these matchups that you would say, oh yeah, I definitely take a quarterfinal game against this team. Colony, Shen, Bethlehem, Troy, Saratoga, Green Tech, Schenectady, Shaker. Those are going to be the top 8 seeds.
Pick your poison.
That quarterfinal day, Saturday, the 25th, is going to be nuts. Literally, and hopefully some of those teams that are going to be 6, 7, 8, you get matched up with CBA in the first round who's playing even better. You got to win that first round game even to get to the quarterfinals.
And Green Tech is playing a lot better, right? And that's a team that I think Coach Hood looked at the beginning of the year and went, it's gonna take me a while to get this team to where I want them to be. And I think they're certainly not in the top 3 or 4, but to your point, they're going to be dangerous, a first-round team.
Yeah, and they just lost to McKeel actually by 20, but McKeel's
so
really good. But
another Stewart kid, right?
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah. There's 2 of them on the team too, and then there's another younger one. But so Green Tech, you don't want to face them for one game. One game match. You don't want to face any of those teams. So really, whether you're the 1 seed, the 4 seed, the 8 seed, it literally doesn't matter. All those quarterfinal games and then the semis and then the championship are going to be toss-ups.
All right, go ahead.
Let me just say one more point because I've seen more high school games this year because my son is involved in South Colony. I'm coaching 4th grade travel. He goes to the game, so I show up on Fridays, make sure he's not eating too much junk food, ready to go for Saturday. But I've seen a lot of games. I will say this: when Isaiah Mall is posted up down low, nobody in the area can stop him.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, when he's on the blocks and he gets the ball, no player in this area can stop him.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
He's got a college body already, and I've been impressed with just his growth as a leader and just being smarter, and he's taken over. Like he took over the Bethlehem game. He had 25 points. He played really, really well. I always go back, and I think I know what Zach's question is going to be. Maybe I don't, but I'm big into don't tell me what you're going to do. Go do it, right? So for me, Colony could win it. Bethlehem could win it. Shaker could win it. Schenectady, Saratoga, all these teams could win it. Until somebody beats Shen in the sectionals, Shen is the favorite. Whether they came in as the 5 seed or the 1 seed. They've won it the last 2 years. You don't tell me that, hey, we could beat them. Go do it. Yeah. And then when you do it, I'm going to be the first one to say, you guys did it. You're the best team in the area.
So to that point, real quickly, because we're up against it, AA, A, and B, give us your 3 picks that you think are I know it's going to be tough. Are you scratching your head here? Yeah,
let me give you, I'm going to go reverse. I'm going to start with B. And I like McKeel or Glens Falls. It's hard to root against Joe Girard, and bet against him. McKeel's just got 5, 6, 7 players that are really, really good, and they're due for a sectional here. But I like McKeel and Glens Falls in the B. A, I think it's Lansingburg's to lose. I think that there's teams like Scotia, and Averill Park, and there's somebody else in there. Amsterdam. And Broad
Albin's pretty good too.
that can, win some of those games. And then in the AA, I'm going to take my winter hat, throw those 8 teams in, and I'm going to pick one out. And that's my, I'm not a guy who's going to tell you, hey, I'm right because I picked this team. I literally have no idea. If every quarterfinal game is a toss-up game, which it could go either way, like that Kansas-West Virginia game, you had Kansas. If you pick Kansas and you, after the game, are saying, I was right, I picked Kansas, yeah, you got lucky. It was a toss-up game. Either team could have won. That's what we have in AA. It's the first time in 20 years that I can remember that it's been crazy like this.
Now, I think if Colony plays its game and they bring their A game, they're the best team. I think by a little bit. I think Colony has a little bit of an edge. They got a lot of parts. They play really good defensively. From what I've seen them play a lot against all these teams that you're lining up. I've seen them play a lot of home games. So I would give Colony a slight edge in the AA's, but going to be fun. And tonight's going to be a great matchup between Shen and Saratoga. And then lastly, how's Dags basketball? Man, you training every team in the capital region now, or what?
Well, a lot of the teams, I'd like to see Shen, Colony, Shaker, Averill Park, all these teams that we do every year, do really, 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 really well. But then also on the individual side, I think if you're telling me Adam might be the next one, that's the top 6. We're in our gym so far in the off season last year, and I think it's
then there's a kid from Schenectady who might be 7.
Gotcha.
You could probably.
I've seen Schenectady play a couple times. They're impressive
good
too. I like them. They've kind of hit a little bit of a skid, but they're
Riles is
playing good.
Jenkins is good.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
And Eric Loudis has done a nice job coaching that team. So, then if somebody wants to reach out to Dags Basketball, what's the best way to do it?
Dagsbasketball.com. All our information's on there. We just kind of read it, our website. We're going to host a couple more camps this year. We're going to do one in Troy, one in Colony, one in Saratoga. And then we also have, if people want to come week by week, we're doing like a little membership program to reduce the fee. So it's a little bit more affordable for everybody and they can get in the gym with us more.
Dags, keep up the great work. Thanks for the insight on the high school basketball.
Thanks for having me.
Suburban Council is going to be something else coming up here.
I'll be there.
Looking forward to it.